Next are knives that I've had for some years. This is Olson. It's a fishing knife. I go fishing. I used to go fishing a lot, and I bought it myself. I was always searching for a good fishing knife, and this one was one. It's made by a company, Olson USA. It's got the shield with a fish on it. It's got two back springs, one for your blade and the other for your fish hook remover, fish scaler, and pop bottle opener. It also has a good lanyard ring. It has no bolsters, and as well, it does not have any half stop, so it's like a slip joint. This knife is a great knife just to have in your collection. The scales, I think, are some type of synthetic bone-like, but it's a very sturdy knife. There's no gapping, and it really has been a good pal to me when I go fishing. Now, in comparison, I have this old Kent, New York knife. It's a fishing knife as well. It's carbon steel blade. This blade has hardly been used. The bolsters are clean, nickel silver it seems. The emblem on the front of it is fish knife rather. The back of it is brass lined with a stainless steel spring. The only difference with this fishing knife, and which I think is sort of an oddity with it, is that it has on there hook remover. The hook remover is at the end of the bolster, and what you do is you slip it into the fish and pull the hook out at the end of it, because it has a little gap in it, as you can see, so that you can catch it and pull it out, which I thought was nice. The black handles are like a black composition Delrin type handle, and I love that, the way it looks. All right, next is a company that I think we're all familiar with, Schrade Company. This knife has been a companion to me for a while. As a matter of fact, I think I bought several of them. It's a very nice single blade knife. It's one of the sturdiest knives I've seen, with an inside lock, a liner lock. It's an old timer. The back is perfect. There's no gapping, nickel silver bolsters. It looks like some type of a saw cut Delrin type of material for the scales. The brass lining is very tight. This lock, you push it sideways to close it. There is no half stop. It's a slip joint. So it's a very nice looking knife, and it's a great everyday carry. Next is a company that I think all of us are familiar with. This is a case knife. This knife I bought two of them. I've got one that's in black composition, and this one is a drop point laminated wood, which I love this. Nickel silver bolsters. It's got a nice lanyard ring. I put some leather in there to hold it some years ago. Still there. The back spring is tight. I see no gapping. It's brass lined with stainless steel spring. The only difference in this knife that I've seen is there's some type of a synthetic, I guess, lining at the base of it, where the lanyard ring goes through and the pins are placed through that. So it's not a metal, and I'm not sure what it is. However, it's held up well with this knife. This knife, I've hardly used it. The other knife is very well used. I couldn't find this particular knife. The only thing I could do was find something that was similar to this knife in the knife guide, collector's guide. Next is another handy little everyday carry. This knife is an Italian knife. The company is Onyx. I love it because I like sardines. And if you want to eat some sardines, you got your little sardine knife. You have a regular blade. It also has a punch on the back of it, and it also has a corkscrew, a cork remover. You also have your screwdriver, and you have your pop bottle opener, can opener, pop bottle opener, and I think the other side here, if I can get it out, is a can opener. So what you got, like a little hobo's knife. This knife, the scales are made of some type of a synthetic. You want to think it's pearl, but as you can see, that knife has some degree of cracking now. I don't think it's pearl. I think it's a composition, some type of synthetic composition. Very nice little knife, very sturdy little knife to have. Last but not least, this knife, I found it years ago. I have no markings on it. The only thing I have is that it was made out of some type of bone. The bone handles have been etched like with a file. The blade is riveted in with one divot rather in the handle all the way through, and then stopped on the other side with a piece of metal. So the pin itself is secured in by this piece of metal, and then there's another pin at the bottom that is where the blade would stop. This blade is sort of like a cross between Warrenclyffe and a drop point. It's made out of some type of steel, like a high carbon steel. This thing is sharp as a razor. I don't know who made it. All I know is it's just a very nice piece, period piece to have. There is no back spine. Therefore, there's no other metals involved except the pins and the blade. And as I said, the blade is a very sharp blade, very nice knife if you want to peel apple with it, or cut something with it, piece of paper, or if you're into chewing tobacco, cutting your chewing tobacco with it. The bone is made from one solid piece of bone, a very sturdy piece even till now. I would love to be able to have this thing dated to see if it's from any period, or where it came to play, it was just playing around, wanted to make an old looking knife. All right, well, thank you so much for letting me share this with you. This is AV2 Knife Talk. Have a great day.